Alright, it is time for day 6 of War Priest Axton mod. So, we're level 80, we've got all of our class mod options here. I threw the Slayer of Terra out since it's basically just a worse soldier. And we're kinda gonna just get a melee build going. We need to get ourselves a Love Thumper so that we can take advantage of Profane Shrapnel and a little bit of the grenade damage here. We have a ton of lifesteal from our skill right here at the bottom of this capstone. We don't need these though, because this one is a minus health plus shield thing, and then this one is just a plus gun drain health thing. And you know, we're running a melee build, so we don't really want that. We've got a 60% chance to not die while action skill is active, so effectively grit. And then just a couple of other skills that work with what we're doing. We won't have our shield up, so we don't want these. And then I could have gotten this cooldown and kill skill duration, but this one's buffed by our calm, so why not max it out? And that's really all I'm thinking about right now. I want to go ahead and get ourselves that Love Thumper. I want to get into Pirate DLC and smack some dudes, get a Rapier. I think we might need a Bladed Ruby or a Grog or something, but then again, this should deal with all of our lifesteal. It's 100%, so we'll just kind of have to see. But for now, let's get that Love Thumper. Now, another thing I do want to say is that the loot randomizer for the pre-sequel is out. It is out officially yesterday on YouTube, so whenever this uploads on YouTube, the day before, I think. It might have been out a day or two by now, honestly. And I really want to play it. So I'm probably going to expedite the rest of this character. We might even be done today. We'll just kind of see how we get along there. Because I really want to play it. I haven't played the pre-sequel in a long time. And I feel like it is worth its due diligence to actually try it out. And what a perfect reason. Also, our melee damage without Roid Shield broken is really bad, but also our tankiness is really good. So I'm totally down with that. That's nice. Yeah, we are super duper tanky. Oh, just get to your spot. Okay, I'm just gonna bada boom him. Even when running melee, gun is just that powerful of gun. Cool. Hey, a cradle. No. Inflammable Anshin, Molly 1. Gross. Okay. So, with the Love Thumper, it will deal 40% of its melee as a Nova, but the Nova is buffed by grenade damage for some reason, as far as I'm aware. So that's where Profane Shrapnel and Explosive Wrath and a little bit of Path of Carnage is going to come in. Hopefully those will just kind of make that AoE actually hit pretty hard. And we're going to do most of Pirate DLC with it, at least to get to the point of Pokey Stick, and then from there, maybe we'll just do OP levels. I kinda do want to round out the character today since TPS Loot Rando is out. And we might just end up doing a whole build testing day today instead. And then calling the character there. Since outside of, you know, the character's skill tree, nothing else has really changed, so not much else needs testing. Didn't even break my shield. That's okay. Let the melee AoEs begin. Still not the strongest, but it is pretty funny. The Love Thumper's damage is only really equivalent to... Wait, are we splashing ourselves? No. Okay, I didn't think so, but I really had to worry there for a second. But yeah, the melee damage on Love Thumper apparently is on par with a purple melee shield. It's just that it has that delay and that Nova is what makes it truly unique. So just an interesting note to keep in mind about the shield. And then we can hang out at low health to force our cooldown to ramp up. How much is it? An extra 80% cooldown? That's probably about right. The cooldown on this thing naturally is about 70 seconds. So that's probably correct. Still feels good. First tried slag. Alright, cool. Well, we can kind of just run this pokey stick, and then... I know it's not ideal to use a ruby for this, but we could kind of just run this into OP 1 and 2 and see how it feels. Might not be a bad idea. The main thing with this character is just keeping your action skill up. That action skill cooldown is so long, it's really, really bad. Which, like, at that point, I'd kind of be tempted to run an engineer. But then we lose out on our funny kill skill. But we do get explosive and healing and stuff. It's so weird. Like, this... The legendary engineer looks so good for raw damage potential. But, like, so does this one, but in a different way. And then, of course, the legendary soldier in a very similar way. Such a problem. Oh well, we'll figure it out when we get there. Action skill on. Yep, this is our optimal melee damage. At level Love Thumper, at level Pokey Stick, which doesn't need to be at level. Kill skill active, didn't really feel like it was doing a whole lot. The color purple might help a bit more too, though. So let's throw on a transfusion we got earlier. One with a really bad fuse, don't worry about it. The damage on this build is only going to scale worse into OP levels too, though, which is a kind of a problem. Because it's just going to start falling off as we get higher and higher. That's not bad for early peak, though. Realistically. Kind of just run around poking skags and stuff. Of course, whenever we get into, like, actual marauders, probably not going to work as well. But until then, it's decent enough. Yeah, this is one of the few problems with using Love Thumper, is just the fact that it's so blinding. I could run a mod that just reduces the visuals on it, but I also just kind of wish that was a vanilla thing. Because in what world did they think that this was okay? Like, that's just so, like, your entire eyeballs are just fried. And then, also, if I just run a gun build, I feel like I'd probably be doing more damage right now. Like, hold on. I have this Ravager here. Okay, never mind. Maybe I'm a little wrong. Maybe it'd also help if I hit anything. No, that's about as strong as our melee. Okay. You know what? Actually, let's go ahead and just respec and see what this feels like with the Legendary Soldier on. So, Legendary Soldier build, bunch of DR, bunch of Reflect, bunch of shield regen on kill, bunch of status effect duration down, and some fire rate for some reason. Shield tear for the half shield, and then a bunch of damage like we've normally been running. Lifesteal, more damage, some movement, and some healing. Now I can just kind of walk around in here. Of course, if anyone dots me, I need to be worried a little bit, but with that minus 75% duration, probably not too much. We'll probably be okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, it's mainly the crits talking. Okay, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and just bump ourselves up to OP10 and throw some gear on the character. I don't think we really need to test this out too much. We're just really high damage. That's all this is. Alright, so we have borrowed a character real quick. We're gonna go ahead and test out rocket jumping as the first thing we do at OP10. Just because, you know, why not go ahead and just start there? We have doubling up for double projectiles, so like, yeah. I mean, this kind of what I would expect it to be. You just get a lot more knockback, but the cost is the fact that you do actually just, you know, burn all of your ammo really, really quick. That is super nice. I wonder how it applies to the drunk effect. That is something we wanted to test. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, so I can already tell you this doubles the Grog's drunk effect. So that is insane. And also means, can we just kind of like... That's pretty good. We could try to get one more drunk effect and do that again. Yeah, okay. So we can't get all the pellets to explode underneath us in the same time. So this just does not work, unfortunately. But it is an interesting idea, and it is definitely more knockback than normal. Now, also, a thing that was just brought up to me, which is a good idea, is you could just build without using doubling up, and then just have blessed guns, and have infinite ammo weapons on kill skill. Which is a really good idea considering we get a bunch of fire rate. So on our ranger build, probably end up doing that, because that is nutty. That's a great idea. Although that counters the ammo regen idea. We'll see what we do. It'll still probably feel nice. I was also asked to shoot a Deepa just to see what it looks like. How is that kind of underwhelming? Wait. I mean, it's neat. You can definitely see the forward splits, but yeah, that's just what that looks like. Okay. Alright. Now, the next question I have been asked is, if I go ahead and use Blessed Guns with an Infinity, do I just generate pistol ammo? So I'm going to dump a lot of my ammo. Okay. So we found out I do generate pistol ammo with the Infinity if we have the kill skill active and we don't have doubling up spect. So that's disgusting. It also makes me think, hey, what if we had, like, I don't know, a Topnia? And we just kind of shot Topnia around and then, like, magically regened ammo for it, probably. Because that's almost certainly a thing, right? After the first kill? Oh, but we have Heresy, so... Right, I forgot I spec'd that. It's still infinite ammo, which is pretty funny. That's nice. That's probably too OP, but that's nice for ad clear. Trigger our action skill to get even more damage. Yeah, okay. And then as long as we have some ammo out of our Bada during the kill skill, we can infinitely rocket jump for a couple seconds too. It will still technically work even without the ammo gone, but it's going to be harder because we can't do like double shot or multi-shot stuff. But if I do that... Yeah, you really want to start with one rocket missing. That's cool though. So yeah, it looks like infinite ammo character is totally a viable option, at least on kill skill duration. And I could further buff our kill skill duration by at least another 25% with this build, if I just swapped over to this. We have options. This is actually looking pretty funny. I've got to test it. We get 300% 5-year lifetime from our action skill. We have the peak opener set. I'm going to trigger the skill. How long is this 5-year lifetimer about to be? Honestly, not as long as I thought it would be. I think it's still at least as long as the peak set. But that's a ridiculous amount of time to be alive and be able to just like figure out stuff. You can just walk into whatever pack you have to deal with, deal your damage out, probably end up being okay. And yeah, the crawling speed is still a little bit faster than normal. Now I also want to test, how do absorb and booster shields interact with the Shield of Faith? Because that's also going to further help me ask the question, how does the antagonist interact with it? Because I don't know. I don't know if it still triggers the effects or not. So we're going to go into Bloodshot and just get bullied for a little bit and see what it does. Honestly, the damage with just a normal... This is an OP9 Infinity. Not even matching grip. It's kind of really good. Alright. Can we still get our boosters? I'm gonna say no. Yeah, this seems like a solid no. Can I do antagonist? Alright, it's full again. I'm still gonna try to do a reflect on Hyperius? Just to see if it works. Yeah, okay. So the reflect from our ability kind of just overrides the reflect of an antagonist. So there is no chain reflecting him to build up damage, it looks like. Well, hold on. It built up a little bit. Okay, it's definitely working. Okay, so you could potentially just do that to him. Also, wow, my fire rate is very, very high. Well, there we go. The reflect meta is still alive. Good to know. Okay, up next I want to test out what could potentially be our most optimal damage. I think the Engineer is going to be the pick for this. Because it buffs Devil's Deal and critical mass. We still might be better off just using, like... I don't know. I feel like, honestly, just using a Ranger comm, like just from Tina DLC, would probably still be the move. Let's actually use this Ranger, the Legendary Ranger, since that'll give us some ammo regen and a bunch of extra damage. It's not going to buff our crit, which is really, really nice crit, but that could work. So let's go to Pyro Pete and test it out. Okay, we're going to keep this nice and lazy. We're just going to get up here. Going to go ahead and put on an Amigo to pop faceplate off. There we go. Alright, now we get to deal our DPS. If he ever turns around. Kinda tempted to use Peak Opener since he's not. Oh, yeah. Okay. Who would have guessed We have a lot of damage. Of course, it's Pete, which is definitely one of the easier raid bosses to be testing against. But, like, even at OP10, come on. That's just good damage. Mr. Milk do Vora next. You know, we could try some stupidity for him. Like, guaranteed. That's a good start. Also, it's kind of funny to see that if Vora didn't actually get bugged out by the Lilith DLC, you would probably actually be able to kind of deal with her. I mean, of course we have insane amounts of damage in our favor, but like, you know, it's not so bad. Okay. That's cool. Alright, I want to check how much of a pacifist we can be on the character as well. I'm gonna get to the melee build, I promise. But I just want to walk around inside of somewhere like Bloodshot with a Lady Fist out and see if enemies don't just crit themselves in the mouth. See if they're capable of dealing that much damage to themselves at OP10. Can they do it? I should probably help them along a little bit. I mean, like, realistically, no, they cannot fight themselves. They have damage made for hurting the player, not for themselves at this difficulty. But it's kind of just goes to show how absurd the reflection is that I can even consider sitting here and doing this. Because, like, come on. When should I ever be capable of this? And then if one of them spawns with a bad gun, just get rid of the bad gun. Like, this is insane. This is way too much for the character. Actually, now that I think about it, why am I even full speccing this skill? 1 point. Boom. 108% chance to reflect. It's guaranteed. I'm gonna be putting on, apparently, the retainer. I'm gonna put on a ranger and test it out with no doubling up and with blessed guns. But, like, apparently that's all you need to do. And you can just win the game that way. And go ahead and start off by attempting to get a kill. And just, haha, funny, infinite Pimpernel. That's so stupid. Trigger our action skill for extra movement speed. Yeah. I mean, this would be really good for peak. Obviously, you'd have to go out and, like, farm a Topnia on purpose, but, like, you get 1 kill, you go clear out a bunch of mobbing in your peak run real quick, throw Legendary Soldier back on when you want to or need to, abuse the life regen from our left tree capstone, or the lifesteal, rather. Okay. So, got our melee build set up. We're gonna wear Love Thumper for it, just to try to take advantage of the Novas and our explosive damage and stuff over here. Pretty much how I had it spec'd earlier. Just a lot of movement, healing, damage. No capstones over here. We just need this one. This one is for guns. This one is for shield, so do not need. And we'll kind of just see how we go about it. I'm kind of worried. We're at OP10. Things are going to start to get a lot more painful, a lot more quickly. Seems to be working. And while the action skill's up, we don't need to hold our grog. I'm just doing it out of reflex. But we do get that lifesteal. That's actually pretty good. Wait. I thought this was just going to kind of be a little funny gimmick, but, like, that's actually kind of nice damage. Of course, when our action skill ends, we're going to be, like, really hugging our grog for the healing of it. But until then, you know? Like, that's nice. And yeah, action skill is over. I've blown myself up with a barrel. Can't really close gap. That's okay. We'll just do that instead. And yeah, the permanently being blind thing isn't cool, but we will live. We could live long enough to get our action skill back anyway. And we'd certainly have the damage with our gun still, because this spec is not too dissimilar to our gun build. So we could totally just start blasting at any point if we wanted to. We could even take a point out of grit and just put it into our middle tree capstone if we wanted, and it'd effectively be a gun build. Okay, against BAs, maybe not so useful. General mobbing, kind of fun though. Let's try to get some purple in here. Yeah, it does okay. For light mobbing, it's good. For actual, like, boss mobbing, probably not anything close to good. Okay. One last thing. We're gonna try to get just a good old-fashioned grenade build going. I don't even know which one would be best for that. I feel like the soldier is just overall safest. Nothing really buffs explosive wrath. Of course, engineer gives profane shrapnel though. And then that extra cooldown over here is nice. We'll tinker. Probably the engineer, just because it's a good catch-all. Okay. Finally found an excuse to get the right capstone and try it out for a little bit, since I don't want to particularly do gun, but we want our shield up because it's a big boom. And we don't have perfect reflect chance anymore. Alright. Let's see. Okay, I missed the first ball, but the second ball hit him. Yeah. I don't even need to slag them. That's okay. I also don't know how to hit anybody with fastballs, apparently, because I don't really normally play this build. But, yeah. Seems good. And grit's kicking in nice and good, doing grit stuff. Since it does apply multiple times during health gate, even though you are technically immune to damage, you're not technically immune. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, this just seems kind of gross. I didn't even pay attention to our, like, capstone on right tree to, like, see if it was doing anything. But that's just nice. Okay. Oh, I thought I had a loaded herald. Yeah. This just works. Of course this just works, but yeah, this just works. We're also going to test out the electric chair, because the increased radius applies to Teslas. So as far as I'm aware, it should work out pretty well. And our damage is pretty high. So we'll just kind of get in here. Throw a couple electric chairs. Grab grenade ammo. But yeah, just do electric chair stuff. This seems about right. I do have the peak opener on as well, just to keep with the new meta Axton build. A little bit of Topnia. And yeah, we're okay. Even if I play the character poorly and slowly, we're still going to be fine. Great. So, yeah, who would have guessed it? If you're just, you know, super duper tanky, have a crap ton of damage, and abuse meta equipment like I always do, you're just gonna do really well. This is a pretty nice overhaul of Axton. I still kind of miss having Turret as a pet. I also miss having any amount of swap speed on the character at all. But if you can just look over that and appreciate the insane amounts of damage, the insane amount of tankiness, it's things that I've just said, because that's all there is, then, like, it's a fun character. this has been a chill run. I think this is where the run ends, though, because there's not a whole lot left to explore. And I really want to play the pre-sequel loot rando. So, yeah. Day 6.